Hello all, I am the Holland Phantom, and for today's video we're going to be having a live battle from the Team Rocket through Neo format. On one side, we've got the Dark Crobat and Dark Haunter deck going up against the Feraligatr deck on the other side. So we'll see which of these two decks can take the victory today. And for those of you interested, we're going to be having the deck list pinned down below in the comments. But before we begin, I just wanted to let everyone know that the channel recently reached 800 subscribers, and I wanted to give a big thank you to everyone who's been supporting us throughout the past 2 years. So thanks a lot, everyone. Our next big goal is going to be reaching 1,000 subscribers, hopefully before the end of the year. So if you enjoy the content that we put out, please consider leaving us a subscribe. It would really help us a lot. And now with that out of the way, let's get into the battle. And here we go, the battle has started, with both players flipping over their starting Pokemon. On the Crobat side, we've got Ghastly as the active Pokemon, with the Zubat on the bench. And on the Feraligatr side, we've got Cleffa as the active Pokemon. The Feraligatr side is going first, attaching a Water Energy to the active Cleffa, followed by the trainer card Misty's Wrath. And now the player can take a look at the top 7 cards of their deck, choose to keep 2 of those cards in their hand, and then discard the other 5. There's the 2 cards being chosen. It's a really powerful trainer card in this format, letting the player dig more quickly through their deck. Okay, there's the second Misty's Wrath being activated. Looking at another top 7 cards of their deck. There are no supporter cards in this format, so you can play as many trainer cards you want per turn. So it's already 14 cards drawn off 2 cards. There's a Totodile coming down onto the bench. It's going to be the main attacker once it evolves into Feraligatr. And that's going to be it. No attack coming through. And now over to the Dark Crobat side. The player attaches a Psychic Energy to their active Ghastly. And no other cards are played. There's the attack. It's going to be a Lick. They get heads, meaning that the attack does go through. Cleffa takes 10 damage. In this format, if a player tries to attack into a baby Pokemon, they have to flip a coin. If they get tails, the attack does nothing. Over to the Feraligatr side, a Water Energy comes down to the bench Totodile, and it evolves into Croconaw now. Followed by the next trainer card, Professor Elm. The player can then shuffle away their hand to draw 7 brand new cards. But afterward, they cannot play any more trainers for the remainder of the turn. So it's like an early prototype to modern format supporters. Still no attack coming through from the Feraligatr side. Back over to the Crobat side, Ghastly evolves into Dark Haunter. It's going to be the main attacker. And Zubat evolves into Dark Golbat to activate its Pokemon power Sneak Attack, hitting Cleffa for 10 damage. The player then activates their trainer card Hyper Devolution Spray to de-evolve Golbat and then put it back into their hand. It's going to be able to evolve again on the following turn to take the KO against Cleffa. Over to the Feraligatr side, a second Water Energy comes down to the Croconaw, and the player activates another Professor Elm, once again shuffling away their hand to draw another 7 cards. They're going to be trying to dig to get their Feraligatr. There's the 7 cards being drawn. Let's see what they get. Oh, they did not get any cards they wanted, so they're going for the attack. Eek! It does the exact same thing as Professor Elm, letting the player shuffle away their hand to draw 7 new cards. So hopefully they got the Feraligatr. And that's going to be it. Back over to the other side now. We do know that the player has the Golbat in their hand to take the KO. Yeah, there's Golbat coming down and activates its Pokemon Power Sneak Attack, taking the first KO of the game. So Dark Crobat has taken the early lead. Croconaw comes up as the new active Pokemon for the Feraligatr side. And it is still the Crobat side's turn. The player activates Pokemon Trader, swapping out a Dark Crobat from their hand for any Pokemon from their deck. And the one chosen is going to be a Zubat, which comes down onto the bench. So let's see what else the player gets. Next, they're going to be using their own Professor Elm to shuffle away their hand. And they're going to be drawing 7 new cards. There's the cards being drawn. They're going to be trying to draw into as many Golbat and Crobat as possible to deal as much damage as they can. Alright, there's the attack. It's going to be Call Back. It lets the player revive one of their opponent's Pokemon from the discard pile. In this case, it's going to be Cleffa. It comes down onto the bench, and it also takes 10 damage, so Cleffa is down to just 20 HP remaining. So it's going to be pretty easy to be KO'd by Golbat and Crobat. Croconaw gets a third Water Energy, and a Totodile comes down onto the bench, followed by another Professor Elm. The player still has not gotten their Feraligatr. Okay, there's the cards being drawn. They have to draw into this Feraligatr soon. Although admittedly, Croconaw can take the KO. Okay, still no Feraligatr, but there's the attack, sweep away. It does hit for 50 damage for the KO, but the player also has to discard the top 3 cards of their own deck. And now they have taken their first prize, 5-5. Zubat comes up as the new active Pokemon for the Crobat side now. And speaking of Crobat, there it is. It comes down to activate its Pokemon Power Surprise Bite. It hits for 20 damage to take the KO against Cleffa, and that is 2 prizes taken now. And the player then activates Professor Elm to shuffle away their entire hand and draw 7 brand new cards. They will need some more Dark Haunter to keep using its callback attack, so let's see what they get. Okay, there's the cards being drawn. Professor Elm is a really powerful trainer card in this format. It was made to replace the previous format's Professor Oak. Okay, there we see a Ghastly coming down, followed by a Zubat and a Cleffa. A lot of basic Pokemon. A Psychic Energy comes down to the bench Cleffa, so it's going to be the attacker for this turn. Zubat does retreat for free. And we will be seeing the Eek attack. There it is, Eek, to shuffle away the hand and draw 7 new cards. The player is going to be trying to draw into their Dark Haunter and a Psychic Energy. And because Cleffa is a baby Pokemon, it might be able to stall out the turn if the Feraligatr player gets a Tails on their attack. Okay, over to the Feraligatr side. Water Energy comes down to the bench Totodile, and then evolves into a second Crocodile now. Oh, but there's still no Feraligatr. There's the attack, sweep away. The player does get heads, so they take the KO, and they have to discard another 3 cards. So 2 prizes taken by both sides now. Dark Crobat comes up as the new active Pokemon. And did they get the Haunter? Not yet, but they do have the Boss's Way as their trainer card. They can search their deck for any Dark Pokemon. And yes, there's the Dark Haunter being chosen out of the deck. Now all they need is a Psychic Energy for this Dark Haunter to start attacking. Okay, yeah, they got everything they need. There's a Psychic Energy coming down into the Haunter. And there's Hyper Devolution Spray to de-evolve the Crobat back into its Golbat form. It's going to be able to evolve once again on the following turn to deal another 20 damage anywhere they want. Golbat retreats to promote the Dark Haunter. So we're going to be seeing its callback attack bring back the opposing player's Cleffa. Another Ghastly comes down to the bench, followed by Focus Band as the Pokemon tool comes down onto the active Haunter. And there's callback. Cleffa comes back down onto the bench. It takes 10 damage, and now over to the Feraligatr side. A second Water Energy comes down to the bench Crocodile. And finally, Feraligatr comes into play. It's going to be one of the strongest attackers in this entire format with its Riptide attack. Riptide deals 10 damage plus 10 more damage for every Water Energy in the discard pile, so that's going to be a total of 60 damage this turn. But Dark Haunter does have the Focus Band. The player gets to flip a coin. Oh, and they got heads. With heads, Dark Haunter is not KO'd. It remains on the field with 10 HP in play. So it only took 40 damage from that attack. And Feraligatr now also has to shuffle all their discarded Water Energy back into the deck. Okay, over to the Crobat side now. A Psychic Energy comes down into the bench Ghastly. And the active Haunter gets a second Focus Band. And there's Dark Crobat coming down to activate its ability, taking the KO against Cleffa. That is 3 prizes taken by Crobat. Followed up by Dark Haunter's callback attack to revive Cleffa and put it back on the bench with another 10 damage. So if the Crobat side has another Crobat or 2 Golbat, they can take another KO. The Feraligatr side plays no cards. They're going straight for the Riptide attack. There's the coin flip for the Focus Band. And it's another heads. Once again, Dark Haunter is not KO'd. So 2 Focus Band have saved this Dark Haunter. Back over to the Dark Crobat side. The bench Ghastly evolves into a second Dark Haunter. One of the Zubat evolves into Dark Golbat, hitting the opposing Cleffa for 10 damage. It's down to just 10 HP remaining. A third Focus Band comes down to the Dark Haunter. And there's Professor Elm to shuffle away the player's hand to draw 7 brand new cards. If the player draws into another Dark Golbat, they can take the next KO against Cleffa. Let's see if they got it. Okay, there's the cards being drawn. Did they get it? Yes, they did. The next Zubat evolves into another Dark Golbat, activating Sneak Attack to take the KO against Cleffa. That is 4 prizes taken now. And there's a callback, bringing back Cleffa once again. So next the player just needs 1 Crobat to take the KO on the following turn. On the Feraligatr side, no cards are played once again, going straight for the Riptide. There's the coin flip, and it is finally Tails! Focus Band does nothing, and Dark Haunter finally goes down. Feraligatr takes their 3rd prize. The next Haunter comes into the active spot now. Does the player have another Crobat in hand? Yes, they did. A second Dark Crobat activates its Surprise Bite to take the KO against Cleffa. And now they're down to just 1 more prize. There's Good Manners. The player has to reveal their hand to their opponent. Oh, and that's a lot of energy. I believe that was 5 energy, a Dark Haunter, and a Stadium card. And now the player can search their deck for any basic Pokemon, and the one chosen is going to be a Ghastly. So this player needs 1 more Dark Crobat to take the KO against Cleffa on the following turn. But from what it looked like in their hand, they don't have anything to draw any more cards. Okay, Ghastly gets a Psychic Energy. There's the callback. Cleffa comes back down onto the bench. There's a 10 damage. And now over to the Feraligatr side. Okay, Feraligatr activates its ability, Downpour, discarding 4 water energies from their hand to power up its Riptide attack. And now Riptide can hit for 50 damage to take the 1-hit KO against Dark Haunter. All the energy are shuffled back into the deck, and now Feraligatr is catching up. They're down to their final 2 prizes. But if Crobat gets their final Crobat, they can win this turn. Did they get it? Okay, Ghastly evolves into Haunter. Oh, but it looks like Haunter is going to be retreating to promote one of the Dark Crobat. They did not get anything they needed for this turn. They activate their Stadium card, Rocket's Minefield Gym. And that's going to be it. No attacks coming through. Back over to the Feraligatr side. They activate their own Stadium, the Rocket's Training Gym, to discard the opposing Stadium card. And now the player activates Trash Exchange. They can shuffle their discard pile back into their deck, and then discard that same amount that was shuffled back in. This is a really good way to discard some water energies out of the deck to increase the attack power of Riptide. Okay, that was 1, that's 2, that's 3. 3 water energies so far. 4, 5, 6. Oh, they got it off the last one. With a total of 6 water energy, Riptide can deal 70 damage to take the 1-hit KO against Crobat. There's Riptide. 4, 5, 6... Yeah, 60 damage plus the initial 10, hitting for a total of 70. And Crobat is KO'd. Both sides are tie. Dark Haunter comes back up. If the player draws into their Dark Crobat, they can win this turn. Did they get it? Let's take a look. Okay, there's the draw. What did they get? Oh, it was a Cleffa. Oh, okay, this might help. With Cleffa, they can shuffle their hand away and see what they get on the following turn. And Cleffa might be able to stall out the turn with its baby ability. Okay, there's Eek to shuffle the hand away. So the Crobat player just needs to get 1 more Crobat and hope that the Feraligatr player gets a Tails on their attack. Okay, over to the Feraligatr side. Let's see if they can take the win on this turn. They also need 2 water energies in the discard pile to take the KO against Cleffa. Okay, there's the Downpour. Yeah, they discard 2 water energies. There's the attack. They just need a heads. Did they get it? And yes! Oh, the player celebrates their victory. They take the KO against Cleffa to take their final prize. And there's the handshake. Feraligatr is your winner. So what did you guys think of that battle? Let me know down in the comments below, and be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video to help this channel grow and reach new viewers. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, this is the Howling Phantom logging out.